So a little over a week ago, I hosted a panel in Hong Kong on stage about multi-asset exposure and liquidity. I wanted to follow up on that now with a video more to do with how xBratAI works, and I want to take the last 2 days. So I'm making this video on Thursday the 6th of August, and I want to take the last 2 days results on the multi-asset that the app trades. So it looks at 55 different assets through stocks, futures, commodities, currencies, and crypto. I want to go through and look at the data on that, because that's very important when we're trading. So whether you're using the xBratAI or app or not, you're building your own strategy. Some of these data points are very, very important. So this is our daily trade summary for the 4th of August. So we had 11 winners and 7 losers. So only a 61% win rate, but the net profit was $4,187. So 18 trades. Okay. There's a lot of trades there. Not a great win rate, but the average winner to average loser made sure that we were profitable for the day. In fact, crypto was a losing day. 6 of those losing trades were crypto. Forex was a positive day. Stocks was a positive day. And futures was a massive day. But overall, we can see there was a good selection. We had that exposure to lots of different markets. Not all markets move the same direction at the same time. Some of them will have chop. When we're talking about algorithms that are programmed by AI, those behaviors can change. AI is not live. It looks at data. It crunches that data, gets the best confluence combinations, and sets the algorithm to run. Now, in a lot of cases, we're not looking for massive win rates, but we're looking for that average winner against average loser ratio to be on the right side. Again, win rate only 61%, but we made $4,000 profit that day. Let's go through some of those trades. Some losers. So in this case, this was a crypto loser, but it's only a small loser. This is where the original stop was, down here. The entry was the white hash lines, a little late, and that sometimes Confluence does that. And then we just started to print the trailing stop and it took us out. So a very, very small loser. And then we had, interestingly, again, on crypto, we had a full loser, which hit the stop loss. But I want to point out something here. The AI has already learned. This has happened on more than one occasion where we've been wicked out and it's turned around. So now it's building in a percentage buffer for those stops to alleviate that. So we will reduce those losing trades. Again, very, very small loser, quite late into this trade on the British pound, Swiss franc, and then it was literally a nothing loser. And then we had a full loser on the euro Japanese yen. Again, nothing is perfect. When we say AI, it doesn't mean it's 100% win rate. What we mean is the data's been crunched. The algorithm has been set on a very, very strict criteria for the algorithms, and they are running looking for those confluences. Look at some of the winning trades. They're not all losers. So on the left here, we have a stocks trade. We entered where the white hash line is, and that's where the profit was taken on this sort of white hash line up here as well. So it was a decent trade. It just ran out of juice. We adjusted stops, and then we have a cross type scenario with the app that takes us out just on stocks. Perfect running trade, short side on this Forex trade down here. Really sort of sensible early entry, good run all the way down, and then another one here on the euro Swiss franc, little winner, that's fine. And then we had a massive winner on ES. We caught the move on ES on Thursday the 4th of August. The actual app took profit at 400% times risk. Okay, so 4x risk. Because that was 1.5 times the average move over the last 30 days. So this was a big move. It was out there. It was an outlier. But what we will do is the system will recognize this outlier. So Yes, it did leave profit on the table, but it was 1.5 times the normal sort of max move that we've had. That can be adjusted now. So now we go to the fifth. We have only a 53% win rate, but $9,000 on this day. This was yesterday. Okay. Again, winning trades. We look at this textbook trade. This trade here. This is on micro gold. Where we got a lot of ticks into this move here. Nice early entry, trading stop taken out at this point. Short here on a forex, really good, great short. Slightly later entry, but then sometimes the algorithm needs to see momentum. But then really great move, trading stop taken out here, and then a monster trade on silver. Actually pushed through volumes some of these resistance zones. So it did try and fail at this point, but it didn't take the trading stop out, got enough volume and went through again. So really great looking trade. So there's always a mixture in there, and this is something that's really important here. Is over these last 2 days, our average winner to average loser is 2.15 to 1. That's our ratio. So 20 winners to 15 losers. Doesn't sound brilliant, but our average winner was over $1,000. Our average loser was under $500. This is very important when you're building a strategy, and it's easier to do that with multi-asset exposure because you're exposing yourself to basically assets that are in the groove at that time. So, overall, over the last 2 days, we had futures, forex, and stocks were positive. Crypto was negative. On another data set period, crypto could be on fire, futures flat, forex doing well, and stocks flat. That multi-asset exposure is very important, and that's what xBratAI does very well with the VIP subscription. You're exposed to 55 instruments across stocks, futures, which include indexes and commodities, crypto, currency pairs. You're exposed to all of that. And this is the curve you should be looking at. This average winner to average loser. We can see it's weighted to the winners overall. Okay. Yes, you're going to have some big winners and you're going to have some reasonably big losers. But in comparison, that's the ratio you should look at. And that's one of the big data points that the xBratAI looks at. Every weekend, it dumps that data from the week before, adds it to what we've been collecting for the last year or so, and then adjusts those confluence combinations. It looks at 100,000 combinations, looks at all of this external data for the average winner, average loser, and makes that choice for those 28 points of control of those algorithms that it's programming for the following week. We can see here futures had a really good week. The win to loss ratio is 3.17 to 1. Really, really good. So the average winning trade in futures was over $2,000 and the average loser was $684. Yes, you've got to take some heat, but when you've got technology on your side and you've got that multi-asset exposure, you are going to have a really good probability of getting on the plus side all of the time. Forex, go straight down to stocks. We see only a 25% win rate, but our average winner was $719 compared to our average loser at $252. So, our average win to loss is 2.85 to 1, and that's the sort of ratio we should be looking at. Even though we've only got most people just concentrate on the win rate. That's not the important piece of data. The important piece of data is the win to loss ratio, that average winner to average loser. So xBratAI, 55 instruments, the VIP package. Check out the links below. VIP package gets you access to all of those 55 instruments to get that total multi-asset exposure. And really, really strong results like this do happen. Sometimes they're not as dramatic. Sometimes all 4 asset classes can be quite flat, but having that exposure exposes you to when we get those runners, the silver, the ES, the big shorts on GBP AUD and the GBP CHF. They were good moves. Even the gold moves over $1,000 we see up here. So, and then why not? We're actually partnering with BitGet for our first broker integration. BitGet, you can trade all of these on the one platform, this multi-asset exposure. You want to get involved with BitGet. Also, down below this will be a link to get involved with BitGet with a very special bonus for actually joining as well. And they are going to be our new technical partners, and that app is going to be integrated. Their broker's going to be integrated into xBratAI app. So hopefully that helps. Bit of a long video, 10 minutes, but I think it's important to understand data and how that impacts AI.